Hi everybody, this is Neil Walters with neilsvideos.com, and today I'm going to bring you another series of training on basic starting out a new town on Townstar to build a candy cane town. This is the town I currently have running, and it's pretty good. It maybe still takes, I'm getting to the point now. Remember how they changed it recently where you have to have more points each day? So see now, instead of used to in the old days, you only needed 1,000 points, and now I need 6,750 points. So obviously I have to let my town run a little bit longer than I used to. Okay. But candy cane's a pretty good way to do it. Again, I'm not competing here. I just decided I don't have time to compete in my life, so I just play for the points or the town star coins. And I'm going to do a new way of showing you how I built my city today. Because when I'm making my videos, I tried to explain before, this frame rate down here goes horrible, and my city goes so slow. So I'm going to have to let that go slow while I'm doing the video. But I'm going to show you through a series of pictures. So what I did is I took snapshots of my town as I built it over a series of days. So here we are from the almost the beginning. And as I went further along, I got smarter and I actually added some comments, like what I changed each time. And sometimes I'll draw arrows and things to remind me where I was at. But basically, I started in a forest next to a river, and the river was a big benefit because remember it goes like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 as far as water. I do play with these NFTs, so here I have a couple water towers, so that's why these trees are getting enough water. Just 5 from the river would not give enough water. You'd have to have a lake there. And since I have the water tower, that's giving it 2 or 3 extra right there. And these have to be by a road, so that's why I have a road between them there. So anything I need a lot of water, I can put close to these 2 towers and or close to the river over here. I do have my wheat stand over here. Well, I think I built some wool sheep pens just to kind of do a fast start. And you can see also I have a couple windmills. So I think I was building sugar, or yeah, I think it was sugar. Hard to see the crops when they're small. I wish these icons were a little more clear. Like you can't hardly tell if that's a forest or a sugar or a peppermint. Okay. So I think this will be a lot faster. Now I'm just going to hit this little arrow key. We're just going to go through different videos to show you, what I changed. So here you see that one, there was nothing on the right side of the board. And then now I basically I'm starting to build my refinery over here. So I built a worker house and a warehouse and a water facility and a windmill. So the water in the windmill will start creating the 2 items, the water drums and the energies. They're going to go into that warehouse right there. If you played before, of course, you know that this is your fuel tank here, and you're going to run out of gas within so many hours if you don't build a refinery. Okay, so your first goal is to usually build 1 refinery and then eventually 2, and then to also have them powered by power plants so that you don't have to have a lot of windmills wasting space on your board. So usually that's what I try to do the first night before I go to bed. And I did start this game at about 2 o'clock. Let's see here. Yeah, I'm going to move. Okay, so up here you can see the time of day. Okay, so this was March 1st at 3:19 p.m. So you can see how much time it took me to go from one to the other. Now, I am working during the day, so I'm not like sitting in front of the screen constantly doing things. I think you watch my videos, I have auto sell scripts turned on and things just kind of automatically sell. So sometimes I'll let the town run for 30 minutes, 60 minutes, and I'll come back and do a few things for 5 or 10 minutes. Then I'll let it run again for a while. Okay. And you can kind of tell 2 things between the times I post up here as to what time the picture was made, and then right here, how many dollars I have. Or I guess I didn't capture the stars. I didn't go that far over the screen. For some reason, I made a note here that I had 23 gas at this point. So yeah, I guess that's how much gas. I was kind of counting down how much gas did I have before I run out, right? So next one. Now I'm down to 19 gas, but now I have 8 crude oil. So I added these 2 oil pumps here. They start creating crude oil and they go here in the fuel tank. And I think what I showed here is my 30,000 coming means I've sent my trucks off and $30,000 is coming in from the sale of something, whatever's worth $30,000. And it's a mistake. Both windmills went red after I added the refinery. So putting that refinery right there, this is my first refinery already. So how much longer did that take? Let's go back. That was 319. This is 341. Okay, so 40 minutes later, I added my first refinery. So you can see I still had plenty of gas before I needed to. But again, if you don't have some of these NFTs that I have, your gas may get a lot lower, but that's okay, right? It takes a little longer. So my windmills maybe should have been somewhere else where they weren't so close to the refinery. I assume that's pollution that's causing that. Okay, here's my notes over here to remind me what was going on. So now you can see I've got 9 gas and I got 31 crude oil. I said I just now started to make petroleum and then gas with 9 gas remaining. And you have to switch the refinery back and forth. You make like petroleum for a few minutes and then you make gas for a few minutes. And you kind of have to flip flop it back and forth however often it's comfortable for you, every 5, 10, 20 minutes or something like that. I had another windmill over here. I was hoping it would be green, but it was yellow. And the reason I added that, I think I'm just selling sugar or something, or peppermint. I can't remember. Oh, it has to be sugar. Yeah, it's just sugar because I'm going for a candy cane build, right? And my goal is to really get some sheep pens up and running and also to finish my refinery complex over here. So I'm kind of working on 2 goals at the same time. Okay, so here I made some notes. Big trouble. Let's go up here first. I was doing other things and I ran out of gas. So even though I had my refinery here, I might have been making all petroleum or something like that, and I didn't watch it for an hour, and the auto cell just keeps selling until you run out of gas. And my money wasn't so bad. I don't think that I had to lose or anything, because you can actually lose if you basically don't have any money to keep going. Now, of course, you can sell things like you can start selling your ponds and your more expensive. Like I could sell the refinery and I could get some more money back. But anyway, so I ran out of gas, but I had 10 wool, 10 sugar, and 20 peppermint waiting to sell. So when you're not watching your game, that's what's going to happen. Basically, your storehouse is going to fill up, and this is the storehouse they give you now. If your storehouse, I guess it'll hold 20, so it wasn't full. Well, no, it was 10 wool and 10 sugar, so it was full of both of those. And then I had 20 peppermint in my silo. And even though I had plenty of stuff to sell and get more money, the fact that I was out of gas just prevented that from happening. So down here it says big trouble. Tip, put the highest. I don't know if this tip really works. I was wondering if you put the highest price items in the auto sell script first, if it'll actually do them in order. I still haven't actually proven that to myself. From a programmer's point of view, it's probably logical. Like they're probably just looping through that data, and the first thing they find to sell, they probably sell it. So I think that's probably true. I said here when I actually made a gas, it sold the peppermint, which was at the top of the list of products in the script, and I should have sold wool. So I did, by the way, obviously there's a sheep pen here and the feed mills and the trowel, and then that's my NFT that automatically puts wheat into the feed trowels, so I don't have to have any wheat farms going on in my game. So yeah, you want to sell your highest priced items first. That says down here, so I built another refinery in a bad place and another worker house. Fortunately, I had just enough money, was within 1 minute of being out of money, and I didn't have enough energy either. I actually don't remember. I said here, I put the refinery obviously here. I don't know why I'm calling that a bad place. I don't even remember what I was thinking that day. You know, normally you'd put it 2 over from this one. But I think I was worried about it being too close to the windmills, but then this one is close to that windmill too. So it's impossible to have everything separated from everything else. Okay, so now here I use these red arrows to show you what I've added. I added a couple of farmhouses. Blue with the gray roof. Okay, that's this guy. That's a builder house. Blue with the gray roof. I should know that. I put a bunch of windmills all of a sudden here because remember I said I was out of energy before. So I kind of went to the other extreme and I built lots and lots of windmills. Okay. And that refinery is still there. Like I said, I had it in a bad place. So back to surviving. I got into survival mode with more energy and more petroleum gas at the sacrifice of slowing down my production. My goal is to get another sheep pen soon, and I need cash for the industrial complex because it takes about, I determined in a prior video, it takes about 55 to 60,000 of the in-game cash here to build 1 refinery. And then if you want to really get 2 refineries and two power plants, it's more like 200,000 or 300,000. Okay, so you need a lot of cash for that. But your wool will bring in something like 20,000, 30,000 each, I think. Okay, so now I built my second sheep pen. Go back. What's nice thing about this is I can easily go back and compare. So you can see I built a bunch more windmills. Seems like I actually overdid it on the windmills a little there. guess again, I was so far out of money, and I really need, my gas was down to like 0 or something, so I really needed to get the gas going. Um, the X's mean I removed something. So let's go back and see what I removed here. Oh, tree stumps. So see those tree stumps there? You have to pay quite a bit of money to remove those. So that's what those X's are. LM means I would put my lumber mill here. So I was planning ahead, like where things are going to go. Got the second sheet pen. Over here it says got second sheet pen, toggling the water facility. So here I have to toggle it on and off so it doesn't fill up the warehouse. You want your warehouse to be kind of balanced between batteries and or water. Usually maybe a little more water, usually a little more batteries than water. Prepping for lumber mill, water pump, and power plant. Because you also have to have your lumber mill before you build your power plant because it requires, I think, 5 lumber, right? So here you see another sheep pen. I'm building the sheep pens close to the water, and then obviously you want them close to the feed trough here. Major on that one, I don't think. You see some things over here. Water pump is done. So here's my water pump. So I want the water pump to automatically give water both to the power plant that's going to go here and to the lumber mill that's going to go here. And also it provides diagonally as well. So that way those things don't have to get water from the water facility. So once you get all this working, oftentimes you can remove your water facility unless you're maybe doing sand mines or mines on the side of the town of a mountain. I had 5 lumber ready to go. If I looked at my inventory over here, see there's the 5 lumber. I'm building a paved road for the power plant. So right here, I'm upgrading that road to a paved road, and then that temporarily takes your thing that needs the road offline. So anything that's created during that time will not be able to go into the warehouse and might get thrown away. Gas production is slow. I need $100,000 for another power plant, or for the first power plant. And I here put here power plant uses energy and water too. And I turned off the lumber mill for now. So I only wanted my 5 lumber so I could build 1 power plant. And then I turned it off so it doesn't just keep consuming all the wood and all the lumber in my town. Because if you look over here, I have no excess of wood right now. So I did get my 5 lumber, but see that takes like 20 woods, right? It takes 4 woods for each lumber. So you want to turn that off at the beginning of the game until you need more lumber and have more lumberjacks and tree forests planted. Okay, so now I have also flushed my silos of peppermint many times to allow room for sugar cane. So it looks like now I have 3 silos. Let's go back a little bit. There's 3 there. I'm going backwards in time here. It looks like they've been there a while. They're 20,000 each. Anyway, they were filling up with peppermint, so that either indicates I had too many peppermint plants, or, yeah, because the sugar cane has to go in the silos as well. So you have to have a good balance between your sugar cane and your peppermints. I need about $150,000 cash before I spend $100,000 on the first power plant, because I don't want my money to really drop under, say, $50,000. If I'm going to walk away for 10, 20, 30 minutes at a time, I want to make sure that the income coming in is not going to drain me down to 0 here. So I'd like to have a little buffer. So instead of buying the power plant when you just get exactly 100 or 105, 110,000, I waited till I got like 150,000. So here it says I removed peppermint from auto sell, not enough dollars for limited gas. So I'm still a little bit behind on my gas. So I wanted my wool to sell. And of course, when you change your auto sell script, you have to restart your game. Like I said, I wasn't making near enough gas even at this point with all these refineries, because I think the energy was my limitation. It was just things were moving slow. It says I rebuilt a windmill to speed up sugar, selling only wool and sugar now. I don't know what I mean by rebuilt, but I put a windmill down here, you can see. Okay, now it says I switched some peppermint fields to sugar fields. That's what we talked about on the last slide, to speed up the sugar. And I added 2 or 3 more ranch houses. Go back and forward. Sorry, the screens don't line up exactly, but you see here I had 2 ranch houses down here, and I wanted them kind of close to the sheep. And now it looks like there's 4 down there. Okay, so that's one thing I built. And now it says I got my first power plant right here. Remember, it takes lumber, and then when you're running it, it takes water from the water. It has to be built next to a a water pump. So then a while later, I says I'll build a second water pump. Well, I already did. There's my second water pump. So then that will allow me to build another power plant right here. So here, remember I was saying I was having like an energy crisis, didn't have enough batteries. And so now when I got that thing built, I was able to turn it on to create batteries as well. So not only does it give passive energy to the two refineries, it will give batteries over here if you turn it on, but that takes crude oil. So that's why eventually you're going to need more crude oil pumps then so that you can make both batteries, well, just so you can make the batteries. The passive energy comes automatically. Okay, so obviously not a perfect game. Not everything's going the way I wanted. That can happen when you play passively. Right? So now you can see I got my second power plant here. So at this point, what I call my industrial complex has been completed. And remember, when you have two refineries, one of them is making petroleum and one is making gas. The one that's using gas takes 6 energy, and the one that's making petroleum only takes 3. So you want the one making gas between your two power plants so that it gets energy from both of those. And I removed this extra refinery down here, which again was kind of a mistake. And it looks like I'm building another sheet pen at this point. Still, my cash is not doing too great, but it's not too low either. Okay, so here we've reached what I call bedtime. Look at the time here. It's looks like it's past midnight. Let's go back one slide. Yeah, so here's where I was at 11:49 p.m. And for some reason, I just stayed up till almost 1 a.m. that night. So that happens sometimes on Tuesdays. I guess if I'm enjoying the game. I really only build the town now about once a month because after that, I just keep letting it run every day to get my daily rewards, unless I really want to learn something new. But then it's kind of fun and fresh again at the end of a month to do it all again. But it takes a good portion of your day to do that. So here, now that I got my industrial complex done, and I guess I buffered up enough other stuff, I was just comfortable to let it, run by itself overnight. I think I'm gonna go ahead and stop this video here. So that was day 1. And then I will continue another video with day 2.